Here are 5 of the ingredients that I use to 10x my modeling speed in SolidWorks, and I'm going to reveal them all in this video. Welcome back, I'm Aryan. If you're new to my channel, I help engineers and creative minds to convert their idea into real solutions through learning SolidWorks with a very easy approach. So subscribe to this channel if this might be something for you. While the contrast among the comments I usually get on my channel is a lot, I'm picking on those who believe that I move too fast in my videos and I don't explain things enough in detail. Because if there are some others who can keep up with the pace, then there must be a solution for those who cannot to bring them up to speed. So I decided to break down my speed into teachable ingredients so you could practice on that and learn. Having said that, my 14-15 years of experience working with the software cannot be ignored as an important factor here. Maybe even the most important factor, but even without having years of experience, the following feature I'm about to share with you are 5 of the ingredients I use, and they can be learned, practiced, and mastered to increase your modeling speed. 3 of these features are for modeling, 1 of them is for assembly, and 1 is a general technique that can be purchased. Well, we'll get to that. So let's get started. Keep it symmetrical. What do I mean? This is the first tip. Whenever I'm going to create something from scratch and it's gonna have some components, more than 1, eventually I'm going to make an assembly out of it, whether it's gonna be something like a mechanism or anything else. I keep that in mind, that all my components from the first to the last one that I design have to be made on the center of my coordinate system. What do I mean by that? So let me just simplify everything by creating a cube, not even a perfect cube. Anything is symmetrical, but it still has to be symmetric. What do I mean? So I'm gonna draw a rectangle and I'm going to extrude this. You have noticed my rectangle is underdefined. It means I can change its shape or position depending on what I select. Anyways, this is the least amount of symmetry that anyone can have in their SolidWorks. Look, I still have my cube. It looks good, no errors, and it's fine. But the issue is it's not on the center of my coordinate system. Therefore, none of these 3 planes are cutting my cube or whatever geometry it is perfectly in half. Look, even the right plane is not cutting it in half, top plane is not cutting it in half, and front plane is sitting on one side. And when your plane is sitting on one side of your component, which is already flat, it's like wearing 2 hats on top of each other. It's a waste of resource. Later on, if I'm going to mirror this component, I don't have any plane in the middle. So let's take care of this. There are 2 steps that I have to do. It might not look like that it's actually helping my speed, but I guarantee you in the long run, when you are working hours, at the end, you will see the benefit of this without a doubt. If I draw a center line from corner to corner and right click on the center line and click on select midpoint, I'm not doing anything, my hands are here. Then I go and hold the control key down and select the center of my coordinate system. Then in the property manager on the left, I see some sketch relations that I can add into these 2 selected points, and that would be coincident. When the center point of my center line, which is connecting 2 corners of my rectangle together on the coordinate system, this rectangle automatically becomes symmetric against that point, which is the coordinate system. So whatever I do, the distances of all 4 corners against each other, 2 by 2, are symmetric. So this is the first step. And when I rebuild my component and do that test once again, select all these 3 planes, the front plane is still sitting on one side, but the other 2 are fixed. 2 out of the 3 planes are cutting my component in half, and that's what I mean by symmetry. Now, let's just make it more drastic in terms of extrusion so we can see the difference better. Again, 3 planes, front plane is not cutting it in half, and that can be fixed too. The first extrusion that you do, if it's going to be an extrusion, if it's a revolve or anything else, then you're 9 out of 10 right already. But if it's an extrusion, in terms of blind, do it mid plane, and now all 3 components are cutting my component in half. If I'm going to work with cross sections, I already have 3 perfect planes that cut my component in half. If I'm going to mirror some feature that I'm creating on this side to the other side, I have perfect plane for that in the center. If I'm going to assemble this component later on with another component, which I already created following this rule, then I can place them symmetrically based on their plane, and I have 3 planes to choose from. So you would follow this small step and you will save a lot of time in the following steps that you have to take. So ingredient number 2 is using mouse gestures. A lot of people who have complained about my drawing speed have written comments like, when did you click on that? When did you select that feature? When did you even select that edge? Sometimes I forget to mention that, and I'm sorry for that because it's been years of practice and I don't even think about it sometimes. So sometimes it slips my mind to mention that I'm doing it. The fact of the matter is, I don't really go, or at least I don't often go into these toolbars unless I'm going to pick a tool that is not that regular. All the tools that I work with regularly are set into my mouse gesture wheel that you see here. I have 8 of them for sketching here. I have 8 of them for features there, and I can reach any of them that I want, like in a snap, in a movement. For example, our drawing is still underdefined and I'm going to apply some dimensions to it. And for that, instead of going to the toolbar and select smart dimension, I will do it like this. Done. Now I have smart dimension. I can assign any dimension I want. What did I do? I simply held right click on my mouse, then I moved it upwards. Look, once I pass this circle, it picks that tool. Now, if I want to draw a circle in the center of my rectangle, done. That's it. I will do it like that. And then if I want to dimension that, again, like this, done. You could work with all the tools you want. So let me show you how you can customize your mouse gesture wheel, because there are different formats for it and we're gonna see how. So right click on this empty area onto your bar, go to customize, then from the tabs above, select mouse gesture, and automatically you will see 4 wheels appear in front of your eyes. These are the tools that you have for each mode. When you're in the part mode, not that I wasn't in the part mode, when you are not working in an active sketch environment, when you are looking at your component, if you're drawing, turning it, rotating it, that's what part means. So you have these 8 tools, for example, front view, top view, whatever. And when you are in the sketching mode, like where I was right now, you have these sketching tools, 8 of them. In the drawing, when you're creating a 2D drawing, you have these tools. And in the assembly mode, you have another wheel for that. So first thing first, you should decide how many gestures you want to have. You could have as little as 2 vertical or horizontal, which is too simple. Well, you don't get enough of the tools that you need. 3 is still too small. 4, not enough for me. 12, too many. First of all, you cannot memorize all the tools you need. There are not that many tools that you have to use on a regular basis. That's 1. And number 2, because of the number of the features that you're fitting onto that wheel, hitting them becomes a little bit difficult. For example, if I'm going to work with a wheel that has 12 features, my hand movements have to be much more accurate. It happens a lot of times that I don't pick the right tool because I go 2 degrees to the right and it picks the wrong tool. So the sweet spot for me that I have found after years is having 8, and I have customized the tool. So for example, I don't really work with mouse gesture other than in the sketching mode or in the drawing mode. So I'm going to customize this wheel for you. There is one empty here and there are all the commands that I want there. Let's just say I want to add extrusion to this wheel. I will search for extrude. I will see all sorts of features that have the word extrude in them. I want boss, then I will just drag it, put it onto this wheel. Similarly, if I don't want to have one, I will drag it, place it in the center of the wheel. It will go away and then I replace it with another one here. That was that. Now, when you have your mouse gestures ready, set, you need to practice to remember the place of each and every component. For example, I want to draw something random right now, working only with my mouse gesture. So we go up, we go right. Actually, I will turn it to a fillet, which I will tell you in another video how I do so fast. Then we will close it here, place a circle here. Now we will dimension it like this. And maybe we want to dimension that. Maybe we want to dimension the distance from this edge to the other side of the circle. And then we want to dimension the center. We can do whatever we want. Oh, by the way, I want to have a rectangle, no problem. I will just draw a rectangle here. And then I want to try another rectangle on this corner. Then open these two edges and then dimension it as I like, maybe 7, and so on and so forth. You see how fast I can work without even picking these tools up. And it's all because I have it all on my mouse gesture, something like this. All right, ingredient number 3, keyboard shortcuts. There are tons of keyboard shortcuts that if you use them right, they would help you increase your modeling speed. For example, I'm working on this component. I just pressed F to bring it in a little bit, fill the screen, and it happens so that I would want to look at a certain corner. So I would rotate my component, zoom in, check something, it's fine. Then I'm going to draw something. To draw something or anything, I would want to look perpendicularly at my component, and it's obvious that I could go back, press spacebar on my keyboard, find the right view that I want, and then go there. Or I could just work with the shortcuts, that is Control 1 all the way to 9. You could save it, or you could just use the one that you like, or you could do what I do, and that's holding Shift on the keyboard and then working with the arrows, because I find it the faster and easier way to just get to the angle you want perpendicularly. And that's all I do. I'm holding Shift on the keyboard, playing with the arrows. Each arrow would rotate it 90 degrees at a time, and I can get faster to the angle I want and look at the view and take it from there. Also, keyboard shortcuts don't limit here. You can do much more to that. There is a toolbar that you can have next to your mouse cursor, and that is pressing S. You could also customize this menu. You could just like mouse cursor. You could go to keyboard shortcuts and change your, this is called shortcut bar. And that's what I showed you right now. Press S. You could drop anything you don't want from this menu and fill it with the tools that you like. So anytime you want something next to your mouse, you could press S and have it there. That's a very good way to bring the tools that you want to use, usually regularly, closer to your mouse cursor, so you don't go find it in different menus, because one tool could be in this tab, one tool could be in this tab, and you could just mix and match all of them in one place, bring it with one keyboard shortcut, and then you have it. All right, ingredient number 4, quick mating, which is only used in the assembly mode. So you all know that to assemble something in SolidWorks, you need to work with mates, and there are different types: standard, advanced, mechanical, and you can find each and every one of these tools under one of these tabs. And obviously you can go through all these menus, find the tool you want, and a lot of times you have to do that. But there is another way that allows you to just work much faster without even going to that menu. You don't even need to go there. So we have one stationary tube over here, the yellow one that I cannot move, and this one is completely floating. I want to place this pink one into the yellow one. The traditional way, as I said, going to mate and select the outer surface of this or the inner surface of that, then it would happen. It would just move into this and they become concentric. Or I could just do this. I could just place it there and click OK. Done. It's concentric already. Let's go back, Control Z. How did I do this? Whenever you hold the Alt key on the keyboard in the assembly mode, it kind of awakes SolidWorks and it tells it that you're about to mate two components together. So the first component that you select, and not just anywhere on that component, the first surface or vertex that is either an edge or a point on that component will become the selection from the first component, and wherever you drop it on the second component will become the second selection. So if I would use this outer surface and this outer surface to make them concentric, all I have to do is to hold Alt, select this outer surface, drag it onto this outer surface. You know what I mean? And then I get the menu. Do I want to lock the rotation? Do I want to do something else? Did SolidWorks guess it wrong? If so, I can change it. Or if I want to flip the direction, I can. If everything is fine, then I can click OK. But let's do it again. This time, I'm going to hold Alt, select this outer surface, but instead of putting it on this one, I would place it on this flat one here. If I can go closer to make it tangential. If it doesn't select it, then it cannot take a smart guess on that. So in this case, concentric is the way to go. And that's a good thing because I'm going to show you what to do if you want to select it differently. If you want to make this two tangential, this surface and this surface. Obviously, Alt did not help you there. There is another way to do this. Hold Control this time, select these two, and then you get the menu of possible mates. From the selection you have, obviously lock is always an option, whatever you select. And you have three more options. These could be tangential. You could define a distance or limit distance between these two selected entities. And I'm gonna make them tangential. Then I get another menu. Do I wanna flip it or not? But I just missed it. So these two are now tangential, and that was using Control. Allow me to make another example with Alt because it could be still not clear. I want to place these two surfaces on top of each other. This time I'm going to hold Alt, place this surface on this surface, and then they could be coincident, they could be parallel, whatever you want. I'm just going to click OK, and then immediately make these two concentric as well. Now look, it's concentric and it's fit to one side, and I have actually added two mates without even going to the mate menu. That's the faster way of applying mates. Again, there are some mates, like some mechanical mates, some advanced mates that doesn't make sense, that don't work really with the Alt key. Then you would just do it the traditional way. But Alt keys can still be used for a lot of advanced mates. For example, a lot of advanced mates can be reached using the Control key technique. For example, select the first one, the second one, I'm going to rotate it, the third one and the fourth one, and then the only possible mate I get is width, which is one of the advanced mates that allows me to set this component in the center of the other one, and it's symmetric. The distance here and the distance here are equal, so I did that using Control key. If the Alt key doesn't give you what you want, you could go for the Control key, and if the Control key doesn't give you what you want, do it the traditional way. That's the sequence that you have to follow. And the last one is a 3D connection space mouse that I have covered in the previous video, and you can see there are different types that allow you to just maneuver much faster and smoother in your model. That results in saving time. Instead of rotating with mouse and keyboard, you just add all the shortcuts you want to the buttons, and then you would get there much faster. Although it's something that needs to be purchased, it's not a technique that you can adopt. As I said, 3 of them were for part, 1 for assembly, and 1 was the general technique, and it was that. So I hope it can help you. I don't want to give you more than 5 because it could be overwhelming. Just practice with these, and I guarantee you your modeling speed would go up if you're not already working with them. Adopting more than 5 things at a time would be too overwhelming and results in forgetting most of them. That's why I'm giving you only 5 of the basic but important ingredients to improve your modeling speed. Hey, you might ask, why would I want to increase my modeling speed? I have 2 answers for you. 1, if you're working for yourself, the reasons are obvious. It's the time you save. The time is money, and it is no wonder that it would help you to model faster. Even if you're doing it as a hobby, it will help you to get there, get your project done faster, So it is obviously more beneficial. And if you're an employee and you don't see the direct benefit of modeling your project faster, I think they are still obvious, but then you should think again. Because if you finish your task ahead of schedule, you have more time for iterations, you have more time for evaluating your model, and all in all, you will increase the quality of your work, and it can be seen and sensed by your employer. So, obvious reasons. Important announcement for serious learners here, because some of you might be in different stages of learning SolidWorks and are ready to do the work and learn it all the way through. You are ready to learn it good enough to be a professional, whether certified or uncertified. So you don't need to come back to YouTube and search for other stuff and ask for help. If that describes you, then go to the top right corner of the screen and click on that info button or the link in the description below. They will both take you to my website where I explain more in detail for you what's going to happen. 1 hour free webinar as well as a mini course that I will give you for free are waiting for you there. And all you have to do is go there and start your journey. All right, thank you very much for watching my video. And if you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you soon with more useful stuff. I'm out.